Game number 1, best of 5s finally, everybody. We are in the winner bracket semi-final. Team against the charming TomCats. Yesterday we had some insane games, I'm not gonna lie. The series between the TomCats and Inting for Ruby was definitely one of the highlights of the first day. We had another best of 3 that was even more intense, but that definitely stood out too. So Team they are obviously the ones that I expect to cruise their way towards the winner bracket final. And for them, the charming TomCats are possibly a little bit of a hiccup. In the playoffs, we will most likely see the blue team going... I mean, I would say they're going to take this a little bit more serious than some of the matches that they played in the qualifiers, where they definitely were trying things out, role swapping a little bit and having more fun. But if you remember, they actually lost to the TomCats because of that. They funned around a little bit too much, and then towards the end of some of the games, they lost team fights and then lost the match, so I don't think that's going to happen to them today. But the TomCats have been improving over and over again, and these guys are finding themselves now in the winner bracket semi-final. This is obviously double elimination system, meaning that we have also a loser bracket in which now the teams have to fight through in order to make it to the grand final if they lost one of their matches in the winner bracket. But as we're starting things off, we're going into Infernal Shrines as our first map, and Vala gets picked right away by Dino as a first pick. Now, we've been going over the meta a bit, and Vala in particular, but every single time that you play Vala, you kind of want to play her with either Zarya, Medivh, plus a support, or a double support. Something along those lines. Just trying to keep her alive for as long as possible if you attempt to go into that auto attack style. If, of course, on the other hand, you're just going for a normal multi-shot build, and you want to try and carpet the shrines and get as much damage in an AoE fashion as possible. It changes the equation slightly, then you don't have to go for the double support, but since Masquerade is already locking in Uther as a main tank, you can bet your ass that they're gonna go for 2 supports here. And that Vala will very likely go into the auto attack style that we've now seen so many times. For the TomCats though, we got Dehaka and Sylvanas as early picks. If you manage to get the Punisher, then Sylvanas is of course going to excel, enhancing that push further and trying to take some of the structures down. But with Ultralisk locking Maiev now into boot for the blue team, that's already a lot of aggression. It's control through Uther with his stun, Maiev with the tether, she can force that too. You have the Divine Shield that allows Maiev to go a lot deeper. And you can expect a second support also, considering that they picked Vala as their first. So that is already pretty scary. Uther as a main tank has fallen out of fashion a little bit. There was a time when he was always picked or banned. These days, Inting for Ruby still love to play with Uther whenever they get a chance to do so, but outside of that, he is now a little bit less often played as a main tank. Mostly when the double support is needed in the case of a Vala play. That's obviously one of the priorities for them. But let's find out how the TomCats are reacting to this. The TomCats have shown really nice games, not only yesterday but also throughout the qualifiers. They are still a rather new team emerging in the scene, so it's not like these guys have been playing as a unit for all that long, at least not on the competitive level. We've seen them mainly pop up. Ooh. Hello? Valeera! Wait, what? I was just about to say, we've seen them mainly pop up during the qualifiers, but that is an interesting opening into game number 1 of the best of 5 here. A Valeera pick? Okay. Someone wants to take down Vala, I suppose. Yeah, if you can take Vala down a couple of times and take the Gambit advantages away, that would be pretty neat, but Valeera is definitely something that we're not seeing all too often. Shrimpy and Wooby are sometimes trying to make her a thing, but it rarely works. Even in Meta Madness, it didn't really work well for the teams that picked her. So seeing Valeera here is a bit of an odd one. Hogger and Lucio. Yeah, Zelia had a little bit of an off day yesterday. Maybe not necessarily an off day, but he definitely died quite a bit, which was very uncharacteristic for him. So now that we're heading into the second day of the X-Cup Fall playoffs and best of 5s, we'll see if we're gonna get our old Zelia back here. Oriel now as the solo support on the side of the TomCats, but definitely a wild lineup that they're running here. Blaze is a main tank again, they already used that yesterday in one of their matches. Valeera is still the weirdest pick in the bunch. But let's see if they can make her work. Guys, game number 1, best of 5 series here. The winner bracket semi-final with Infernal Shrines, our first map between the TomCats and Team... Prepare yourselves for battle, everybody. Here we go. The first game of the day, the first game in this best of 5 series between Team Wah and the TomCats. On the left side, we got Ultralisk on Maiev. We have Zelia on Lucio, Dainu on Vala, Dequaza is playing Hogger, and Masquerade on Uther. Yeah, the TomCats in red here today on Infernal Shrines. We have them with Gamer Boy and Oriel. Support for the team, the main tank Blaze, played by the Dark Wolf, Shadow on Dehaka, Hymirth on Valera, and Arian is playing Sylvanas. So let's go. Valera is definitely the one pick to watch out for. She's not really a hero that you expect in any of these games to be played. You know, if you want to have a little bit of fun. Oh, not again. Zelia, really? Oh my god. He continues where he left off yesterday. He's inting. Well, maybe not necessarily inting, but he's the one dying. So it was a nice trap that we saw from the TomCats there, and it worked wonders against Lucio. The stun was just a bit too much for him to handle. So an easy kill, and that is first blood for the TomCats. So good on them. Well done. Now, with that being said, the one thing that I wanted to point out real quickly is that Valera hasn't really seen a whole lot of success. She normally doesn't even get played in competitive matches. Sometimes when you see her get played, it's more so either in Meta Madness when tons of heroes have been banned out, maybe in a qualifier when there's not that much on the line anymore and the teams are just trying to have a little bit of fun, make something work, test things out a bit. But she's not a hero that appears in competitive games because it's just so tricky to really make her work and get value out of her. Normally other picks are just way better than that. And it's kind of wild for me to see this being played out in the first match already, or in the first map. So we'll figure out what the TomCats are going to do with her. For now they got the early kill against Lucio, which is kind of nice to make a bit of a statement, but it's not really helping you to get far ahead here. Even if you look at the camps, for example, at the bottom of the map we have our 3 Khaldor camps, and out of those 3 it seems that Team Wah is going to get 2. So the early kill against Lucio hasn't really done a whole lot for the red team. Again, it's more about making a statement than anything else. But they might be able to steal the camp away. With the Haka coming in, there's definitely an opportunity, especially now that Blaze comes in. But Valera goes the way of the Dodo Bird and dies. The camp is still claimed though, so good on the TomCats. They lose one of their heroes, but they are able to steal the camp away. So that was kind of neat. You can see what Zelia is doing on the other hand. He's slowing Shadow down as he's trying to transition to the top. And that's where Dequaza is attacking the entire wall here. So it definitely comes at a cost. Zelia, on the other hand, overdid it a little bit in the mid lane, as it seems, and died again. So that's now 2 kills against him. And I am very heavily confused now. Yesterday, really, I looked at it and was like, yeah, well, had a bad day, you know, maybe was a little bit tired, things didn't really work out. But today, it just continues where he left off yesterday. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Maybe Zelia's little sister has taken control of his PC or something. Maybe there's a bit of account sharing going on with that. Family members are just doing that. Or he has a bet with his mom who said like, hey, Lucio's so easy, even I can play him. Whatever it is, they need to get the monster Zelia back that decides games by himself, or they might have a problem here. Thankfully for them, the TomCats picked Valera, who's really struggling too, so she died twice now. And with now the first objective up on the map, this is obviously where we're going to see Punisher number 1. 33 stacks for Vala, keep her in mind. The Gambit component of the talent is going to be hugely important, but stacks are also something that they definitely need to work on. And it is interesting to note that the red team is not going for the objective. After they lost Valera, they pretty much said, alright, this is done. And they don't want to give Vala any stacking opportunities, which is actually really important. If it wasn't for Vala, there's a chance that the TomCats would have just lingered around with some of their heroes and tried to see if they can maybe get a kill, annoy them a bit, slow them down. But if you do that, you give Vala a lot of stacking opportunities, and that will come back to bite you in the late game. So good choice to simply let that slide for now. Instead, we now have the defense set up in the middle. Easy attacks against the Punisher. Arcane Punisher already down, but here comes the Haka, the drag missing. And Valera is also still looking for an opportunity. Zelia himself, 50% HP, but at level 7 at this point, with the talents. And up at the top, that wall has also taken quite some damage, as Dequaza in particular has started to attack it multiple times now. 44 stacks for Vala. Here comes another quick attack. The Dark Wolf might be in trouble. Gets tethered in. Body blocked. But the entire 5-man of the red team is here now. Heimerth is low, and he's not the only one. Blaze is the first one that dies, but he might not be the only one there. They're going for the second kill, and they take Valera down too. So Valera is currently getting absolutely murdered in this game. She died 3 times and has only gotten 3,000 damage in. That is nothing. Valera with less damage than Oriel, just saying. That's where we're at right now. Level 10 abilities can change a whole lot of that, but on the other side you have Vala, who's already sitting at 13,000, so Dino, even though he wasn't able to stack as much as he usually would be in on a map like Infernal Shrines, he's now doing a great job here, hasn't died yet, hasn't lost any of his attack speed because of it, and is starting to stack his damage, of course, and here's the level 10 abilities. An entire level lead now for the blue team. They got the Rain of Vengeance, they got the High Five. We have, as expected, also the Divine Shield to empower Maiev and Vala even further, with a Shockwave to boot for Hogger. And the entire wall is taken down, the side walls included, to make sure they don't have any vision left later on in the game. 4 kills to 2, and they are just ruthlessly exploiting that talent advantage. And the red team is struggling. They're trying to defend that fort, but it is tricky, as you can see. And here's the tether, there's the stun. Gamer Boy nearly going down here. Few more stacks for Vala, of course, as well. So Dino finds himself in a really good spot. Can farm stacks, get some damage out, and really pressure them back. That's exactly what they're doing. Valera in trouble, and not the only one. Oriel is the first one to fall, and the fort doesn't make it either. Nicely done. Yeah, great job here. And Ultralist, in the meantime, completed his level 4 as well. I mean, he's dishing out the damage. Has done an incredible job so far. Obviously, knowing that that Divine Shield will always be there when you need it is going to help. With level 10 on the board for the TomCats, we have them on the side of Valera now with the Cloak of Shadows. In addition to that, we of course have the Aegis. And maybe now, on the objective, they can make something happen. It's still level 10 versus level 10. There's no talent advantage right now for the blue team, but eventually that's definitely going to be a reality. So they have to win a fight now. And they're going for Vala, and there's the kill. That one was perfect. That's exactly what they needed. The fight isn't over yet, but taking Vala down was hugely important. But there could still be a few kills for the blue team, and they take Oriel down first. It's a trade, a beneficial one for the TomCats, granted, but still gotta be careful here. Now with Vala dying, that means that she now lost part of the Gambit stacks, so she's down to 20% attack speed. And Ultralisk with the Ultra Int over here, yeah, he bit off a little bit more than he can chew. And that's an easy kill against Maiev, so maybe an opportunity for the TomCats to go for the Punisher after all. But level 13 is soon gonna arrive in the hands of Team Wah, and then they're gonna run another advantage here. So Zelia is now starting to move in with the rest of the team towards the top. There's already a 13-point advantage for the blue team towards the objective. Maiev is back. Vala, can they take her down? Here comes the whip into the wall. Lucio is dead again. Zelia is dead once more, and now they're looking for Vala. They're trying to put Uther and Vala into a corner here. And Dino survives. Just kites around the area. Uther is dead, but they can't get the second kill in against Vala, which would have been hugely important. He had 26 stacks against 3, and Vala is able to take Oriel down. That's the support gone. They go for the second kill. It hits Sylvanas. She's dead. Hashtag not my war chief. And Valera dies too. Oh, they're farming them hard now. They're turning the first game into a farm simulator. Seems like Shadow might die too. Ultralisk hesitating for a moment here and then moves in for the kill. 5-man team wipe as everybody gets destroyed on the side of the TomCats. At the bottom of the map, catapults are also pushing, and all the way topside now. Here comes the move. Uther, he's obviously back to business now. Masquerade is starting to move in together with Zelia. 100 stacks for Vala, gives her a bit more damage, of course, too. We have 34,000 damage for Maiev, and 27k for Vala. The death count, on the other hand, Zelia died 3 times. Again, keep yesterday's match in mind. And on the other side, we have Valera dropping 4 times. It's a 2-level lead, pretty much, for the blue team. They are obviously the favorites in the series, and they want to move on to the winner bracket final as quickly as possible here at the X-Cup fall. Valera coming in, trying to set a kill up on Vala. And it really seems to me that the whole idea of playing Valera here was an attempt to take Vala down as often as possible. It's obviously one of the weaknesses of hyper carry composition. If you take the hyper carry out, if you manage to do that, then the team is more or less helpless, and you can try and take the rest down one after another once the main damage dealer is gone. In this case, it's a little bit different. I mean, Ultralisk is really popping off on his Maiev too, so he chips in a lot. But with the fort, with all forts gone, keeps are the next thing on the agenda, and the blue team is absolutely demolishing their top lane. They are taking this one down without any troubles. Now we have Manticore for Vala, and that of course boosts her damage even further. The Dark Wolf is experiencing that firsthand. Aegis saves him for a second, but there's the kill. Nicely done. Very well done. So with that, there's obviously the core that they could now focus on. If they get another kill, they'll definitely do that. We even have the Shaman camp still in play, and the shields are falling quickly. They're going to do a bit of damage to that core, I suppose. The question is just simply how much, or are they just falling back here? I mean, Blaze is down for another 12 seconds, and it doesn't seem like they want to fight. Valera, on the other hand, gets tethered, and she is dead. Valera down, Ultralisk jumps out. See ya! And that is now 13 kills to 6. Later Gator. Yeah, and well, talking about later, seems like Blaze with another stun straight up the wall here. Talking about the wall, that thing is pulling a Houdini and is disappearing in record time as Valera is getting one shot in with full hatred stacks after another. She should actually soon be taking over on the damage department. Now she's still 6,000 behind Ultralisk. Yeah, Ultralisk is absolutely crushing it here, isn't he? Yeah, he is, of course, getting a lot of those cleaves in, too. Here's the bunker as Blaze is trying to save the front line. Keep in mind, he's also main tank for the team. But they are still lacking that level 16 talent. They're still an entire level behind. And the blue team is just pushing this. With catapults now also moving in. The second one just arriving. They have a good shot at taking this one down. And with the double kill, the core should be wide open here. They go for the Dark Wolf. He turns into a dead wolf. And that little fur coat is going to plaster the walls of Masquerade's mansion as they are going in for the kill. They try and take Sylvanas down too. She survives for the time being. The core is gonna suffer a lot more though. Catapults are still attacking the keep in the middle, and the core is losing its shield quickly. This should be lights out in game number 1 of the best of 5 series. Dehaka dead, 150 stacks by now for Vala. And a fantastic first game for Team WAP. 17 kills to 6. Zelia might need another coffee or another energy drink. But with that being said, the blue team takes, as expected, the lead in this semifinal of the winner bracket. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Solo map number 2, Team WAP, with a really nice start into the tournament for them. They had the 2-0 in the first round, of course. Now we find ourselves in the semi-final and they continue where they left off. Unfortunately, that's also true for Zelia inting a little bit. That man needs coffee. Give him coffee, give him an energy drink. I don't really... like, whatever he needs something. When I think about Zelia and energy drinks, I always have to think of this one cartoon that was there like years and years and years ago, Over the Edge or something. And there's like this one, I think it's a squirrel. It's that one squirrel that always like on drugs, and it's called Hermie or something. And they always refuse to give him energy drinks because the guy is already on such a natural high that energy drinks would just absolutely kill him. And then at one point, it gets really dangerous in the movie. They give him an energy drink, and what pretty much happens is just everything slows down. And from the perspective of that squirrel, just everything just like stands still, and he just like runs through and pushes things. That's how I picture Zelia. That's Zelia for me. The guy has his natural high, and if you give him any kind of like caffeine, you give him energy drinks, give him coffee, then he just enters another universe where time stands still. So that's a little bit what's probably going to happen here. They definitely need to give him something. The guy is not awake yet. So Cursed Hollow is our second map. There is the lead. This is a best of 5. We got Abathur banned out. That's always a no-go for me. Cursed Hollow is of course a good map for Abathur, but honestly, let the Slug live. Seriously. The Slug needs to live. I'm a huge Slug fan, and they just need the Abathur. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, Medivh is banned out, and this time we also get the ban on Dehaka. Haka has just snuck into a really good position in the meta in Europe. And I like it. I'm a big fan of globals. I'm a big fan of heroes that give you some macro opportunities. And he obviously excels in team fights as well, if you can land that drag. So that's pretty awesome. There's Lulnara. Bambi is in the house. Yeah. And as usual, the PSA, Bambi is a boy. Actually is. First time someone told me that, roughly 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, ah, you're full of shit. Bambi is a girl. And then people were like, don't you remember the last scene when he turns into this beautiful stag? And I'm like, huh, I think there was a scene like that. So yeah, Bambi's actually a boy. Mind blown. So yeah, Lunara, we still call her Bambi. And Bambi is big in the meta these days too. If you've seen Maki yesterday on Lunara, you know what I'm talking about. That series between the chili donuts and the hardos was absolutely incredible. If you guys haven't seen that yet, make sure that you catch it, because boy, that was such an epic game. Masquerade on Diablo, and we got Zelia on Brightwing. Toranda on the other side with Inuburak. Like, I'm not quite sure what exactly is going on with the TomCats here. Toranda brings a lot of good things to the table, but I'm always skeptical when I see a Toranda pick. If they go for a second support or they go for a Zarya together with it, then it's a different story. But if they play Toranda as a solo support here, then that's a big question mark for me. There are a few teams that are on such a good level when it comes to coordination and everything else that can pull that off. But I'm not sure if they are there yet, and Toranda can be a big liability. The ban on Gazlo, on the other hand, is not really what I'm expected. Is that a troll? Or do they target ban here? I mean, that looks a little bit like a troll ban. That looks like for just 1 sec. I mean, Dino has played Gazlo a little bit in the qualifiers, but still. So Kerrigan gets banned. Ultralisk has technically still access to his Maiev, so there's that. Could go for that. And of course we need to figure out what exactly Dino's gonna play here now. Could still go Vala. Granted, you don't have your Uther, you don't have your double support. But you can still make it work. Also, you don't have to go into the auto attack style. ETC for the side lane. And the birdie! So they go triple global at this point. I mean, ETC is very likely going to go stage dive. If you pick ETC on the side lane, you normally go stage dive and then just global in. That's also going to be a problem for Toranda, because you know what ETC is going to go for. He's going to go for Karen. I mean, if there is a Karen in Heroes of the Storm, it is Toranda. You know it, I know it, we all know it. Green hair, that kind of makeup, I mean, she's Karen. I'm sorry, but that's 100%. And ETC is there for her. ETC is going to jump on her and take her down. There's Greymane, there's Leo, so they go for the Toranda solo support after all. And if Gamerboy can keep her alive, good for him. But it could also become a bit difficult. Especially with ETC definitely making a move here. So, last pick, Ultralisk. Probably a little bit more aggression coming from them. So far they have only one range damage dealer. Could go for a little bit more. Ultralisk could also go into a Maiev pick again, I suppose. Or Genji. And it's Genji. There it is. Okay, let's go everybody. We got Cursed Hollow, map number 2 in our best of 5, the first semi-final of the winner bracket here at the X Cup Fall Playoffs. Game number 2, we got ETC in the house on the side lane. Quasar will likely go into the stage dive, reminding us once again of the HTC days when we had ETC oftentimes even as a first pick, because people wanted to have the flexibility of either using him on the side lane or as a main tank. Dino on Falstad, Zelia on Brightwing, we got Ultralisk on Genji. And Masquerade is playing Diablo. On the right side of the map, Hymiearth on Greymane, Gamerboy on Toranda, Karen, my bad, sorry. The Dark Wolf on Inuburak, we got Arion on Lulnara, and Shadow is playing Leoric. And on level 1, we get the Block Party. Same time, the Austin's Renewal here, Toranda starting things off with the Ranger. And yeah, I'm always a little bit sad. I mean, I had this tangent already quite a few times, but the problem with Toranda is simply the lack of mobility, and as new heroes were introduced into the game, the mobility creep was absolutely real, and that made it difficult for Toranda to survive. the whole idea behind having her is that you can, with the owls, obviously scout and also interrupt any kind of channel on a tribute, for example. You can control the boss points quite nicely, but more importantly, you want to be the team that engages. The idea is that you start things off with, let's say, an Uberak. He makes a move with his Burrow Charge or with an Impale, stuns the target out. Tyrande follows up on it, and then you get an easy kill there. So that's kind of the idea. The first kills in this game, on the other hand, are against Leo and against Falstad, so we have a trade between the two teams. The birdie died a bit sooner, and the problem is that with the birdie gone, that bot lane is getting absolutely murdered. You got Lulnara and Greymane. Greymane in Worgen form is already crazy good. And then on top of that, we have also Lunara with all of that extra damage and the toxins. So they try to go for Bambi, and they nearly take her down. Heimirth survives, not even tapping the fountain, thinking like, yeah, that's not happening. I need to just hearth back and make sure that I get those HP points back. So here we go. With that, we have everything set up properly for the mid-game, and also for our first tribute that will be announced in 45 seconds. But I'm curious to see what Gamerboy can do here. We've seen a couple of teams, by the way, do really, really well with Tyrande. But it always is a question of, can you drive the game? Can you be the one pushing the game and making the moves, or does your opponent jump into the backline? And Genji, he is going to be a problem for Tyrande. If he plays well, Ultralisk is going to go for Gamerboy time and time again. And in addition to that, as mentioned before, after level 10, ETC has also a good chance to go for her. With his ult, I don't expect him to go into the mosh pit. I don't really think that's happening here. So, yeah, time will tell. The Paralyzing Rage on Leoric. So we have that locked in fairly quickly, plus hammer gains for Falstad and the life leech on Diablo. First objective this time spawning up at the top, and Greymane is still at the bottom of the map. Now, take note of all the globals and all the mobility that we have for a team. Wow, that's actually fairly important to point out here, because throughout the game they will be able to also deviate away from team fights a bit more and instead try to find success by simply rotating around the opponent, using those globals to push the lanes a bit and get side lane experience. So that should give them a lead in the mid game at least, and the late game too, once that the map opens up a bit, once some of the forts are down. Seems like we nearly have a freebie on the channel, but Ultralis comes in for the interrupt. And here we go. Dequaz at the top. Oh, Greymane, the big bad wolf, might be in trouble. Heimirth makes it out. And by now we also have Lulnara in the middle of things. And let's go. Yeah, they take the siege shines down. It's a little bit of a fight happening with our boy Diablo. Arian is coming in Masquerade. It's some of the damage, but they're never going to let that go that easily. Especially with the globals that they have, that's just not happening. And there's a Leo kill, so as he tries to go to the lane to get some experience, Leoric gets taken down. Thankfully, he'll be back in a few seconds. So, as far as kills go, as the best thing that could have happened to the TomCats. If you lose someone in the early game, it has to be Leo. But they can't lose more, and they can't use Bambi. Lulnara is already dying. Genji having the last laugh in that encounter. The Dark Wolf is also not making it, and that is now 2 heroes down just as Leo comes back. Tyrande's trying to go for the stun. Leoric is dead again. He came, he saw, and he died. Veni, Vidi, BG. And at this point, yeah, it's only Tyrande that's fighting. It's actually kind of funny that Gamerboy is the only one that survived through all of this. Obviously, the tribute has now been channeled, but that is a solid lead for Team Wow. 6 kills, 2-1, and they are looking very, very good here. I mean, that's one of the advantages of ending the regular season, of ending the qualifiers as the #1 ranked team. You have a bit of an easier bracket at the beginning of the tournament. Now, obviously, eventually you're going to go up against some heavy hitters, but at least for now, Team Wow had a fairly easy time here. And the TomCats, they're trying, and they come in with a few ideas, but they haven't found an answer to it yet. They are not really in a position right now where they can threaten Team Dark Wolf with an attempt to go for Zelia. So far that always worked in the previous games, but not this time. Zelia hasn't died once yet. On level 7 we have, by the way, the Wizened Duelist. But now as the second tribute pops up, you can already tell from the experience gains that we're seeing for the blue team that they are going to get level 10 just in time. And that's going to be problematic, to say the least. 2 tributes against 0, that forces you into an awkward spot where you have to fight for the next one. Won't be able to do anything there. Yeah, Shadow Quasar already. Here's the stage dive, as expected. And the only one that hasn't made a move yet is Genji. Everybody else went for exactly the talents that you would expect here. And they want Tyrande, and they're gonna get her. Yep, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. The lack of mobility. If you get caught, you are dead. So Tyrande is down. Karen got eliminated. 7 kills to 1. Falstad was able to take her on here. The tribute has been claimed. At the top side, we still have a bit of a fight going on, especially Arian with Lunara is able to dish out some damage. And talking about the damage numbers, let's have a bit of a closer look at this. Leo is the top dog on the red team side with 8,300. 16k for Genji though. They're going for the boss, and well, Tyrande scouted that out. So at least they were able to get a glimpse of what's going on here. Now this is a bit of a dangerous situation because both teams have level 10 abilities now, but if Dino moves towards the top, nah, they're gonna let that slide. Ooh. There's the stage dive. Didn't dive very far though. The Quasar might still... No way. Nice escape. Good job by ETC. That was a very, very good escape here. Would be kind of funny if Falstad flies in and takes it down. But did he get owled? Oh my god. Tyrande just owled ETC. Perfect. Oh, so good. ETC escapes first with the stage dive, then he slides away from Lunara. And apparently as he was hearthing back home, Tyrande came in and sends the owl straight to his face. Hedwig with the insta-kill here. Hogwarts would be proud. Genji at this point also cocoon, so they shut him down for a second. At the bottom of the map, the boss is still going strong here. Bit of a fight in the mid lane though, as we're looking at Diablo Masquerade. Jesus, they really want him, don't they? And Brightwing jumping in might cost her life as well. Falstad is moving in, has to barrel roll out. I was actually expecting the gust into the corner. But here we go. Okay, ETC. Careful. The Quasar is a little bit pissed here, I think. If you get owled, that's not really your proudest moment. That doesn't go into the scrapbook. So now we got Genji with this quest completed. This is obviously a very important tribute for the TomCats. If they lose this one, then they get cursed. Yeah, both teams now lost the fort. The boss at the top is still alive. Not for much longer though. Won't be able to go through the wall here. But the blue team is taking control again, and now that they are this close to level 13, they will have a talent advantage. There's the APOC, and they're jumping on an Uburak. He gets bodied around, Zelia dies first, but here comes Genji, slices, dices, takes one out, 2. That's a double kill for them at the front line. Dino with the channel, and that's a curse, baby, and he gets interrupted. It's gonna be a curse regardless. They might even lose Greymane. But yep, the curse hits, and it is hitting pretty hard. Unless, of course, Arian with his Bambi can get some kills, but it's the exact opposite. Greymane was hungry, he wanted some deer, and went straight for Lunara. Gamer Boy also very much alone right now, and he has no chance at the bottom of the map. Already quite a lot is falling here. Even the keep is going to take some damage. Tower goes down first. Middle of the map. There's no doubt that the fort will be destroyed, but they are looking for way more than that. With the first curse, very likely Team is going to get the first keep of the game. They're pushing in with catapults and minion waves. Siege Giants are playing part of the defense team, but that's about it. But that keep is definitely going to fall. The fort in the middle, as you can already see, this one is definitely going to go down. And they are diving deep for kills, and they're getting them as we speak. Or at least they're getting very close. But that keep is gone. And with the fort destroyed in the middle, the one at the top is now also under pressure. Minion wave is coming in, and you know what? This might actually survive. This one might actually survive. Now, it takes a fair amount of damage, but it may still survive here. Doesn't change the fact that we now have 11 kills to 4, 1 keep down, nearly all of the forts eliminated, so the situation is dire for the TomCats. Yeah, damage output for them, Lunara is at 23,000, so there's that. 4 deaths on Leo, so he's activating his trait quite regularly here. And they are trying to be aggressive now. They're trying to be aggressive before level 16 is available for the blue team. That's pretty much the whole thought process. They are trying to get some kills before the opponent has a talent advantage. And as you can see, Team Wa is way too experienced to give them that fight. They're sitting there like, why the hell would we fight right now? We have half a level to 16. We're more than happy to face you then, but for the time being, retreat! They go for the French defense. AKA they're running away. So, with that done, we got Leo cleaning house down at the bottom of the map. The annoying part is, of course, that this fort still stands, so there's continuous catapult pressure, and there's no counter pressure from the TomCats at the bot lane. So that's a problem. But yeah, there's the level 16. So now they are in a bit of a pickle for one more level. What's the timer on the bosses? 44 seconds. You know what? That could just be enough. But of course, that fort top side, that thing doesn't stand a chance. That one's definitely down. So the fort gets taken down. 11 kills to 4. 16 to 15. Down at the bottom of the map. Dequaza is able to get out. I mean, it's only Nuburak. Couldn't have delayed it for too much longer. Even if he cocoons here, they're not going to get anything out of it. The whole gameplay for the TomCats currently just goes around. Oh, they're trying to go for the Dark Wolf. For the TomCats, it's all about surviving. But they obviously try to get that fight. ETC could still go for the slide here against Leo, who's ghosting away again. And Shadow survives. That was actually well done. But now that the map opens up, I talked about it in the early game, Falstad has all the freedom in the world to move to the side lanes and start to pressure them further. Take those minion waves down, go for some of those structures, claim them too. 16 versus 16. But this is exactly the moment where all of that macro kicks in for the blue team that I mentioned earlier. And the red team doesn't go for their own boss, and that's a bit of a problem. They are apparently trying to fight here, so they go for a Hail Mary move. They're just saying, guys, let's just go for that boss and see what we can do here. Maybe they should trigger that, not let it leash. Yeah, they want to steal it away. I mean, pretty much at this point, the TomCats are just saying, we need something crazy to happen. Let's just go and try and force these fights while we can. If we play a normal game against them, they're just going to kill us. First of all, we don't have a keep at the bot lane anymore. Second of all, they have multiple globals. They can use Falstad on the side lane and just destroy another keep. We need to make some moves here, and we need to make them quickly, or we're gonna die a slow and painful death. But they're hesitating again, and that is pretty bad, because Falstad is taking that invitation and is sitting now at the top lane, has destroyed the entire wall here, is buying his team a lot of time. Down here, we have a triple catapult already moving in. It's only 13 minutes into the game, so these are not going to do too much. I honestly would be surprised if the core takes damage. Maybe a point or two, but that's about it. And the red team is, again, just watching as Team takes the boss. And that boss is going straight for the core now, of course. That's the next problem. That boss goes straight for the core. ETC steals the camp! Are you kidding me? He steals the camp, and what is Tirana doing all alone there? Choke point, and the kill! But the APOC hits, and it hits hard. Greymane is dead. Lunara needs to be careful. Oh dear, and she's down. Lunara is dead. Genji is turning into a butcher and slices everything apart. That actually reminds me, we have a hero in the game that's also called the Butcher. It's pretty much never played. Haven't seen that guy in an eternity, but yeah, that actually exists. But in this case, Genji went straight in and murdered everybody. The core, talking about getting murdered, is now also getting murdered. They take Leo down, and the boss is already on it, but that is going to be a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series for the blue team. Nicely done by Team 15 kills, 2-6. Nuburak dies. The boss is obviously going to finish it by himself already, but not even level 20 for them on the board. Job well done. Ultralist didn't even die. Very solid performance here by the blue team in this match. Team Wa with a 2-0 against the TomCats. Now, obviously, we're now headed into the third game, and the map choice is interesting. Braxis Holdout for a third map here, chosen by the blue team. Now, this is a map that can be snowballed pretty quickly if you take your opponent's forts down, because it's all about taking that beacon control, and that can be very tricky if you don't have a fallback option, if you don't have a fountain where you can stay in a few hit points and mana. as it stands, this is a map where you normally see a lot of heroes that can traverse terrain. Genji, Medivh, Kharazim, Anubarak, Muradin. Just a couple of examples of heroes that you normally see there. Junkrat, obviously also one. For the top lane, the King of Dragonshire oftentimes gets played, so we could see Rexa being taken. But it will be an interesting one, because, I mean, let's be honest here. So far, Team had a pretty easy time. They played it quite disciplined. They're a strong team. They're the team. They are the team that you need to beat. They are the dominant team in Europe right now. There is just no other way of putting this. They are absolutely fantastic. They had the Hardos bring them close to defeat a couple of times. Actually, in one of the last tournaments, the Hardos even threw them down into the losers bracket. They decided to match in the winner bracket in their favor. But then Team won the tournament regardless through the losers bracket. So they are pretty impressive, especially when they're not trotting around and they're going super serious mode. And in tournaments where there's a lot of prize money on the line, that's obviously where this is going to happen the most. But yeah, as it stands, still... the big question is who can take them down, and it's a question that will eventually be answered. For a long time we had the Hardos and Lauba's fan club pretty much just playing toe-to-toe again, and now things change a little bit. Obviously we're looking towards Gunners On as well, but I can't really help myself. Every single time I see Gunners On play, they just seem to play, I mean, pretty meh. On the one hand really good and you see the star power there, on the other hand you look at that lineup and you think they should have such a clean victory here. And then it's just like, yeah. This, on the other hand, is a little bit of a problem that these guys sometimes have. They like to do their weird thing when they are ahead. And they go for Kel'Thuzad. Kel'Thuzad as a first pick. I mean, if you want to play Kel'Thuzad, you know, that's one thing. If you want to play him, that's one thing. Picking him first is pretty dumb. So, yeah. Because I can guarantee you one thing, he's not going to be contested. Your opponent is not going to ban him. They're not going to pick him away from you. So, yeah, that is definitely a bit of a wild one. And Deckard Cain gets picked as well. So, they're obviously going to enjoy this a little bit. You can see this as a fan service. But then we remember the qualifiers and some of these fan service games that Team every now and then throw out there led to losses in series, not only maps for them. So, gotta be careful. On the other side, Dehaka, Li Ming, and Johanna have been taken. And let's go. The Lucio ban. He can obviously help with the quick rotation between the bot and the top lanes. That's another one. And with this opening, I'm intrigued. I want to see what's coming next. Mal'Ganis and Rexa. Okay, so we got things starting off with Mal'Ganis. We have Rexa in here for the top lane. At the bottom of the map, they're going to try and siege up with Kel'Thuzad. Ultralisk is the only one that's still missing. And the red team need to respond, and they go for Tracer and Anduin. Okay. I mean, you look at that lineup, and the only question that you have when you look at the lineup of the TomCats is, who has the best hairstyle? Is it Anduin? Tracer, maybe? You know, with that Jojo, or is it Li Ming? I mean, I'm the wrong one to ask, but I'm happy to chip in too. And with Mal'Ganis and Rexa already chosen, they decided to go for variants. So Kel'Thuzad has a lot of setups here. Braxis, hold on everybody. It's map number 3. It's a best of 5 series. And obviously Team wants to decide with the 3-0 in their favor. Let's find out if they can pull it off here against the TomCats on Braxis. Hold out. Game number 3. Don't get fooled by the score. We're gonna adjust that in just a second. But yeah, so guys, we are looking at game number 3 here. Team is in a 2-0 lead against their opponent. Dequaz on Mal'Ganis. We got Ultralisk on Varian. Uh-oh. I mean, again, they are playing him not as a main tank, but we have the High King's Quest as a level 1 talent, so yeah, this is not going to be a taunt game. Kids, don't do this at home, please. And for the love of God, don't do it in Storm League. If you ruin my games, I will haunt you. Masquerade on Rexa, we got Dainu on Kel'Thuzad, and Zelia on Deckard Cain. On the right side of the map, Heimirth on Anduin, Gamer Boy and Li Ming. The Dark Wolf on Jojo, Arion on Tracer, and Shadow is playing Dehaka. Okay, let's go. What do we get on level 1? We have first of all the Even-Handed Blessings, Power Hungry, And also the Glare, as Dino at the bot lane is looking for opponents. Someone wants to stack his baseline. So let's see if he can. Already trying to make a play right here. The 4 versus 4 should give him ample opportunity to set all of this up. So we'll see if he can actually do that. Off we go. Ultralisk. Okay, careful. They're trying to work a bit on the High King's quest here too. Dino with 1 stack towards his baseline thus far. Yeah, but this is going to be interesting. For the TomCats, it's obviously a little bit of an awkward spot to be in right now as well. You go up against some setup that you probably never faced off in any scrim either. But this is an opportunity to maybe put a point onto the scoreboard here. Anduin then again is already finding himself in a lot of trouble, and with that, I mean, he's dying. So he's dead, but the counter kill! Khaldor kisses his life goodbye, and we have a double kill as Deckard Cain also drops. He didn't social distance, and he paid the price. If he tries to just like hobble away there, he's just a little bit too slow, especially if he's trying to compete with the cavalry. So yeah, he's gone. Quick double kill by the TomCats. That's obviously one of the biggest problems that Khaldor has in the first place. The guy just doesn't have a whole lot of sustain. He's pretty squishy. So if you get some damage in against him, he is just getting dropped. And talking about dropping things, they're really trying to drop... I mean, everybody on the red team is low at this point. Tracer and Liming both have to fall back and tap the fountain, but there's the lock-on by Deckard Cain, and they get the kill on Johanna. Anduin somehow even survived, but now they're controlling the beacon at the bot lane once more. Yeah, nicely done. 2 kills to 2. Level 4 is already in, and we get the Colossus Smash. Hulk Smash right there. So Varian is going to do a lot of yelling again. Varian with Smash is always like he has a toothache or something. He's just yelling around the entire time. He's like, it hurts! Every time. But we also got the Hunter-Gatherer now for Rexa, so he's working on some extra hit points. We're talking about Khaldor on level 4. The armor of the Arc Lich is in. And let's get the party started down here at the bottom, I suppose. Once that Varian is back up, he transitioned to the top for just a second to see if they can maybe pressure Tehaka a bit. Wasn't really the case, so now they're moving back down again. And once that he's here, he could set up some kills for the rest of the team. Already moving in from the top. And, well, there's the Iron Skin. Tracer, careful baby. She needs to be cautious. In comes Tehaka, missing the drag though. And now he becomes the target. Dino is getting the damage in, getting the stacks in, sitting at 13 on the baseline. But he's also the prime target for Tracer, which is proven once more as she comes in with the ult. Anduin also getting attacked here and gets locked down by Deckard Cain. There's so much CC and so many slows here, it's insane. And Ultralisk, he could have gone for an ult, but didn't. Might have even been able to take the Dark Wolf down. We got 2 percentage points on the beacon against 6. Obviously, this is not a winner takes all. Every single point matters. And they get both. Anduin goes yelling, and with that, we have now 7 to 6 on the level side, 5 kills to 2, double control on the beacon. Top side, Tehaka is trying to take over and goes up against Masquerade and, of course, Misha. So eventually he's going to get the control here, but it's getting slowed down as much as possible. And while this little 1v2 is playing out at the bottom of the map, Anduin died. The entire wall is up, and once they take the fountain down, the sustain at the bot lane is completely gone. So they are working this one hard. That 4-man is just crushing them. They can siege up so heavily against them, it's kind of crazy. All the way up at the top, they're trying to go for the kill on Rexa, and with Tracer's help, they should be able to lock it in. And Masquerade will indeed fall. So Masquerade is down, but at the bot lane, Johanna has died, and they are still sieging up on the fort. And once they get this thing, they're just going to transition towards the top as a 4-man and send Rexa down to the bottom of the map. So, yeah, that's more or less what's going to happen here. With level 7, we also got the Chilling Touch. Yeah. And the entire time I'm looking at Varian's positioning. Because Ultralisk could very well make another approach here that gets followed up then by Khaldor, who's sitting at 23 stacks. He's getting closer on the baseline to work his damage in. And choke points are not a friend of the red team, but they have a 5 versus 4 since Tehaka comes down. But that's a very, very nice move by Deckard Cain, buying them a little bit of time and literally driving a wedge between the players of the red team. 50% now on the beacon, and everybody's falling back here, but at the top they're very much alone. Misha and Rexa. Down here, Khaldor is dead though, and that's a bit of a problem. Falling into that same old trap. But of course, since they can run the lane now, they are not only taking the gate down, but also the tower. So, level lead. The Haka slowly moving topside. They haven't really gotten any percentage points on the objective though, through all of this. And they are really suffering in structures. They're suffering a lot. Finally, a bit of counter pressure at the bottom of the map though. But here comes the attack against the Dark Wolf. Fucking Varian. Shouting the entire time. I mean, honestly, the pain that he experiences might not be physical. Maybe it's the emotional pain that he just relives every single time that he sees his failure of his son sitting in the back here, literally not knowing at which end you have to hold the sword. I mean, sticking with the pointy end. Have you not watched Game of Thrones? Haven't you read the books? I mean, anything, please. So yeah, maybe it's the psychological trauma. That might make sense too. Varian never really seemed to me the guy, you know, that would really have a problem with physical pain and enduring it, but the psychological aspect, that's a different one. Tracer is down, Gamer Boy is also dead, and Hymirth is doing what Anduin does best, moving out of the fight and running away. High King's quest completed. No! Anduin! And there he is, dead again. 12 kills, 2-4. Now that the Zerg wave has also been taken, they find themselves up at the top. The fort is down, bottom also gets attacked, and guys, this is rough. This map was chosen for a reason. I mentioned it during the draft that you can snowball this one very quickly if you take those forts down, and that is more or less what Team is trying to do here. For the TomCats, it is of course an uphill battle, and it was clear from the beginning that this would be the case here. They're going up against the currently best team in Europe. For them, it was already a success moving through the first round into the winner bracket semifinal. So even if they lose here, they're obviously not out of the tournament. They're going to move down into the losers bracket. But Team wants to make a statement, and that's exactly what they're currently doing here. Li Ming, oh my god! Anduin with the attempt to save her, and she just pops. She just explodes in a second. The attempt with the light bomb doesn't work either. Finally, there's level 10 for the TomCats. But the keep is already down. Both of the forts are destroyed. They're starting to farm the red team in their own base. Tracer's trying to run away. Tracer saves herself by running outside of the base, and even that doesn't help her. It seems like this might even be the end of it. The first Zerg wave is threatening to end the game as the blue team picks up level 13 talents. The Guardians are still doing some work. And the damage output, look at Varian, 26,000. Smash, and the audience goes, viable, viable, viable. And no, it isn't really. No, it's all about the taunt, baby. But here comes the attack. They're going for Li Ming again. So Jojo is dead once more. Li Ming is dead, but finally they take down Khaldor, who now died 3 times in total. 28,000 damage. Anduin, run! And he gets out. All right, Anduin gets out. In the meantime, Ultralis saying like, guys, I got this. I got this. See you later, boys. I'm a man on a mission. And he's honestly gonna get this one. Especially when Zelia helps him out a bit. Mal'Ganis is dead, but what do they care? Well, they're gonna care a lot once that the Haka sees what's happening. You can kiss that boss goodbye. That's not gonna work. Yep, that boss is gonna be stolen. Nice attempt, and thanks for your troubles. Ultralisk is dead. This is just absolutely perfect. This is just the best. Shit like that is always nice. So in this case, he does all the work and then he gets stolen away and they say like, thanks, we're gonna take this one. Thank you very much, it's appreciated. Oh, you shouldn't have. Christmas comes early this year. Fantastic, look at you. Thanks for giving us the boss here. But yeah, so now they can at least set some damage up at the top. But it might only delay the inevitable. Time will tell. For now, we have Rexa popping with his own ult and hoping to slow them down here. Masquerade needs to be a bit careful because they're getting chased. And with Tracer moving in, gotta be real careful that she doesn't make a move for Masquerade and just takes him down. Rexa is vulnerable here for sure. Game Boy, on the other hand. Oh. Can they get a kill? Looking for it. Where are the resets? Li Ming needs a kill or two. But yeah, they couldn't get anything here. Okay, so with that, up top side, boss goes down. Rest of the team is now moving back, red team that is, trying to make sure that they at least get a couple of the camps. Anduin with the push forward. Yeah. It's kind of ironic that Anduin has a talent that's named this way. Same time, we have the Blessed Shield, by the way. I haven't pointed that out yet, but it is a rarity these days to see Blessed Shields. Usually it's all about the falling sword and the engage and disengage potential. Oh, combo, baby! Oh, yeah. Anduin is dead, and so is Jojo. Both of the blondies are down. The camp, of course, now easy pickings. And the objective is up, so they can literally decide how they want to play this out now. Do they push the bot lane a bit for the keep? Or do they go for the objective instead? Both more or less viable for them. So yeah, let's see. 20 kills to 8. We are 11 minutes, 12 minutes into the game, and we have 28 kills in total. It's a fair amount of kills. It's a lot. It's more than 2 a minute. It's not bad. Talking about bad, blind as a bat, and Anduin is dead as a bat. Okay, but Mal'Ganis is also dead. No, he's not! What? Alright, yeah. He actually is able to escape. Okay. That was a bit crazy. But yeah, they're going for another one. It's a bit of a sleeper duel, honestly, between Deckard Cain and Mal'Ganis. Who can put more opponents to sleep? That's pretty much the battle here. Li Ming! Oh! Ultralisk wanted the kill! And doesn't even... I was about to say, has to pay the price for it now and dies to the keep. But that didn't happen. The problem is that they now got the next objective, so we are literally seeing that Zerg wave move through the bot lane again, and of course the goal is to end the game now. With a 3-level advantage, they're already so far ahead. We have 30 kills in total, which in and of itself is already crazy, but it shows once more how strong Team Wah is. These guys are just too good. They pick Kel'Thuzad first. They're running this with Mal'Ganis and a Smash variant, and they are still winning this. And the TomCats, they're doing what they can here, but they just cannot match this. Li Ming is down again. Deckard Cain, oh, stay a while and get wrecked. And they're caking everybody down. Dehaka is the only survivor, and he literally just says, alright, fuck it guys, I'm out of here, and moves towards the top as the blue team ends the game. GG, and well played. Team moves on to the winner bracket final. Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.